I think there's even a TED talk that said people quit too early and things like that. I don't know what the statistics are. That's me spitting on a Zack stat. But let's say that that's true, right? That people quit everything too early, right? How do you push through? How do you have more endurance? What can someone do to not throw in the proverbial towel too soon?
Well, I mean, I know that you and I spend a lot of time talking, verifying, validating, talking each other off the ledge, so to speak. And I mean, you really gotta surround yourself with like-minded people so that you know that you're not crazy. I mean, that to me is a really big piece.
Like-minded people that will tell you the truth, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, and and you clown on me too, quite a bit. I mean, that's the new thing on the wall there with Elon, man. It's just like, dude, no one has a stronger pain tolerance than him. And
I clown you because you're a Tesla fanboy.
Yeah, because I'm an Elon fanboy. But man,
you didn't buy the flamethrower though, so you can't be that big of a fanboy. But you thought about it, I guess.
Yeah, and I didn't buy the tequila either, but. But gosh, I mean, how many times did he almost go broke? Even as recently as a couple of years ago, when the Model 3 was just was going through its production hell. Yeah.
So you consume a lot more of his information, and Gavin backstage says Blockbuster turned down an offer to buy Netflix for $50 million 2000. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So another thing that made me think about that is I'm a big wrestling fan. Vince McMahon bought his competitor who had been beating him for a long time for only $2 million. And he has access to that entire streaming. He basically spent the $2 million to have the catalog of all the events and the content from that. And now that was in around 2000, 2001 itself. And so like you hear it for $2 million. I mean, I'm sure there's concerts that cost $2 million to put on. Mm-hmm. Apparently some of the wrestlers now, I think Chris Jericho, one of the most popular wrestlers in the world, says, I would have bought it for $2 million. I mean, it's crazy to think that. Right. So you listen to a lot of Elon, let's just say that you consume a lot of Elon information. Like, what are some of the things that he says that he pushes, that he uses to push through? Because I think that's a great way to look at someone who has done it multiple times. He's part of the PayPal mafia and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, what are some of the things that he's done in the past to keep it when?
Yeah, I mean, it even really starts back when he was a teenager. Like his very first job, one of his first jobs was, if I remember right, it was like mining or something in South Africa, where like people wouldn't last long because the working conditions were so difficult.
He's from South Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he managed to stay in that position longer than anybody, just because he had that pain tolerance. And then he moved to Canada. And then from Canada, he moved to the U.S. But during that, I mean, him and his brother, they just had an office when one was working, the other was sleeping on the couch. So he had that pain tolerance to go through that. And then most recently, billionaires seem to have such a bad rap today that, you're rich and that's a bad thing. Well, it's like, one, he has risked more than anybody else has. And so with them to throw it right back in their face, he sold all of his homes. So he now doesn't own a home because he's like, look, I'm using this money as the overall mission to be interplanetary, to go to Mars. And I don't want any possessions on Earth, so to speak. And now he doesn't own a home. So it's not like he's spending this money on all this lavish stuff. I mean, everything is going right back into the SpaceX mission.
I always think it's interesting when people badmouth very wealthy people when they don't actually look at how much are those individuals personally giving back. Oh, well, this guy's insert whatever really negative word here, and then actually that guy is given, or girl has given, millions of dollars to countless organizations. It's all, right. Even the Amazon guy, Bezos, we realized had given tens of millions of dollars to organizations.
Right. Yeah, and I think that the other thing too that I think that Elon mentioned in tweets a while ago that all of his donating that he does anonymously. So
but, at the same time, why do these people have to do it, right? I mean, they took the risk. You didn't. Right. You could have done it, right?
And because I think that like one of the things that broke a couple of years ago when the whole Flint, Michigan water thing was going on, he donated Chromebooks to every student in Flint. And that's stuff like that never caught the media attention. Just because negative media always gets more clicks than the positive stories. So we'll just gloss over something like that and focus on something negative.
I've been thinking about finding ways, just as like a thing to do every once in a while, is to take negative-based articles and spin them into positive-based pieces of content, just to show people how easy it would be to spin a story like that.
Right.
And I just haven't decided if I love doing that enough yet. But there's been a couple stories that I've consumed over the last month or two. Such I as a former journalist, I know what I'm supposed to do, right? I don't consume a lot of media in that kind of way because I don't feel like what I was taught and what I believe to be true journalism happens most of the time anymore. But how I could get it back to doing that would be an interesting.
Yeah.
If you go, hey, like this is that story is actually very positive. It very, very positive. You guys are being manipulated to consume that in a different way.